Hello there, you absolute legends. Emma McElhinney here with Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. I am here to ruin your misconceptions about perimenopause, fat loss, and kick midlife in the face. So if you think your 40s are a drag, think again. Because every week I am going to be stripping down the myths about perimenopause. I'm serving you raw, unfiltered truths about your health and smashing misconceptions about fat loss. And a whole lot more. So if you thought you knew midlife, you don't know the half of it. Aging is inevitable, but getting old is a choice. So buckle up, grab a glass of something yummy, and let's get to it. Hi, welcome to the next episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. That is me. Hi, I haven't done one of these solo for a long time, and I don't actually know why. Maybe I've just not been inspired. I'm not normally a person that has to wait for inspiration to talk about things, but maybe I have. Anyway, today I have been inspired, and it's not an exciting. I'm going to set your expectations right now. This is not an exciting topic, but it is a very valuable topic, and I'm going to try and sex it up as we go along, because if you can nail this, you can nail everything, right? So a little bit of background. I am I'm going to try and not make this about me, but a lot of the times personal experience does matter. And I want you to understand that, God, I don't think anybody puts me on a pedestal, but a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, it's all right for you because, you've got this qualification. It's all right for you. You've got a gym in your garage. Oh, it's all right for you. You've never had to worry about your weight. That's all right for you, blah, 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 blah," right? And none of those things actually are true. It's like, people in the coaching space, people in the health coaching space, they don't live this life of a nun or some kind of clean eating. Well, some people do. But I certainly don't live the life of some clean eating freak. Very often I am not motivated to go to the gym. I actually have to pay for a gym membership because I have got zero motivation to go and train on my own gym. So much so that I'm going to be selling my equipment. So if anybody wants commercial grade fitness equipment, hit me up. So I want you to know that somebody's phoning me. We need to hang up on that one. Imagine phoning me while I'm recording a podcast. How rude. Okay, so the second thing you need to know is if you are watching this rather than listening to it, I do apologise for the state of my no makeup face, but that will become apparent why I don't have any makeup on as we go through this session. So today we're talking about the concept of better not best, progress not perfection, consistency, whatever phrase you want to use, that's what we're talking about today. And this is important because true behaviour change comes with small things done over a period of time, and that's what gets the big results. If you've read Atomic Habits, it's in Atomic Habits. It was a concept way before Atomic Habits was written. But it's probably one of the hardest things that my clients have to get to grips with. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So number one, I obviously work with women through perimenopause. So anywhere from late 30s through to about 55 is my kind of ideal average age of clients. I do have some outliers. I've worked with several women in their early 30s just because they've liked my style, and I can adapt. So most of the people, however, I work with are what we might call a little bit control freakery, right? And that's okay, because I think most women who they've either got businesses or they've got careers and they've got families, they do get a little bit control freakery because they're so used to juggling so many different responsibilities and wearing different hats and making sure that everybody's got their plan for the day, making sure that lunches are sorted, make sure that dinners are sorted, make sure that dogs get into the vet, make sure the cars get the MOT, making sure the decorator turns up on time. They are project managing not just their own life, but pretty much the household life as well. And it is a bit of a generalization, and I do apologize. There will be some people that don't resonate with that, and that's okay. But most women do tend to get into this place of wearing all the hats, juggling all the different plates, juggling the balls. The image I had there, not good. And thus, when it comes to health, they want to deal with that the same way that we deal with everything else, right? So they go into it with great gusto, great motivation, because we wait till we're motivated before doing anything, which again is not the right approach. Um, and then, or they wait for the right time. You know, waiting for the right time and waiting to be motivated is it's two of the biggest no-nos that I can share with you, to be honest with you. Because they feel like they can be on it, they can be perfect, they can do everything really well. And we all have heard about the, oh, I'm on the wagon, I'm off the wagon. There is no freaking wagon. We're not in a Clint Eastwood Western, like there is no wagon. And that is what trips most people up, is they get into this place of, oh, I was doing really well and then life got in the way, right? Life is a big bastard. It's a habit. It's going to get in the way. That's what it does. And it's going to repeatedly get in the way. You're never going to get through the rest of your life with this coasting along when no stress happens and no bizarre things happen, no stress is there, you know. And also, if you throw into the fact the perimenal years, the AKA, I'm swearing here, the fuckery years, yeah, life isn't always going to be smooth, right? And that's why approaching a health change or a health kick or a weight loss goal or a fitness goal or whatever it is, and waiting for the right time to do it, it there is no right time, because in a week's time, something will happen, unknown to you, invisible to you just now, and throw you off course. And when you can't then do what you think you need to do, which is this level of perfectionism, every time you're not able to do that, it feeds into this feeling of self-worth and self-esteem, and oh, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. And that's mostly all subconscious, right? So I speak on this with authority, not because I'm qualified in it, not because I've been teaching it for 10 years, but I am a living, breathing example of that all or nothing type person. I juggle a lot of things. I've got two businesses. I've got a house that I'm trying to get prepped for selling. I've got a mad dog. I've got a child that's got so many clubs it's not even funny. Trying to navigate the divorce era, all the things, right? All the things. So, as somebody who is I don't want to say a high achiever because it's a bit of a wanky term, but you know, somebody that is used to doing things and managing things. Like I used to be a project manager, so I'm kind of good at that stuff. But all through my kind of, and the run up to me actually changing careers, I was very much right, I'm on it. And I'm not allowing myself any alcohol. I'm not eating junk, and I'm not going to go out, and I'm not going to have fun, and we're just going to have like chicken rice and quinoa for dinner. And it was all very regimented and it was all very strict because I was on it. This time it's going to be different, right? So, and it was around this time that I actually discovered all the things that I actually teach clients now, which has formed the Happy Body Project, that I actually had to move away from that because actually it was not good for my mental health. It was not good for my marriage. It was not good for being a mum. Because it put really big limitations on everybody else. And from an emotional point of view, it really impacted on everybody else's emotions as well, because while I was being very strict, nobody else was allowed to have any fun. No, you can't do that because I'm on a diet. I'm on a diet, not happening. And we all know, like, we're all clever enough to know that we know diets don't work. Because the minute you say diet, we put ourselves into this scarcity mindset. And that's exactly what happens when we decide that we're going on a health kick or I'm going to lose weight and this time it's different. We put ourselves in a scarcity mindset of, I can't do that, I can't have that. And that is from a mindset and a psychology point of view, the minute that you do that, it starts all this knock-on effect with hormones, and your hormones start going, oh my God, you're hungry, you're on a diet, you're hungry already, you're going to overeat. And at some point you're going to give into that. And that's just the emotional cycle of, you know, doing things in this all or nothing type way. So I wanted to give you a real life rundown of what better, not best looks like, progress, not perfection, being consistent looks like. Because the goal is a lot of my clients come, like all of my clients come to me and they're with me for a minimum of 30 days. My ideal would be that my clients are with me for a minimum of 6 months. But like nobody wants to be told that, do they? That, oh, you have to be here for 6 months. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So when my clients come in, they've committed to this 3 months, this 90 days, and they're on it, right? So most people start off like they typically would start off in this all or nothing. Like I'm being really good because I'm following the instructions that Emma has given me. I've got my app. I get to check off daily non-negotiables, and that's really good because I'm really motivated because they're obviously motivated. They've just paid money to join my program, so they're motivated. And then maybe 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 6 weeks, and they'll be on it. They'll be, inverted commas, really good. And then life will happen, and they will have a question like, I accidentally ate a big bag of chocolate buns, right? And I'm really pissed off myself and I'm really disappointed because I was doing so good and I just feel as if I've ruined all my progress, right? No, this is really the real work starts happening because joining a program isn't a test of who can stay the goodest for the longest. I actually would prefer if everybody fucked up on week 2 because it then means that you're like, right, okay, let's unpick this a little bit more. And there's loads of strategies that we use with clients for when that happens about, well, how do we reframe it? How do we change it? What do we do differently next time? And how do we just start forgiving ourselves for these things that happen? Because when you start to learn that they will happen, and it's what tactics and strategies can you use to like overcome it? How do you manage stress better? How do you manage sleep better so that all these mad immediate reactions, because very often people don't go and grab the chocolate buttons when they're in a really positive, happy place and they're full, and they've managed their boundaries really well. Like that's not when that happens. So we need to look at all the reasons why it's happening and overcome them to begin with, right? But on a day-to-day level, I'm going to give you a run through of what my day looked like yesterday. From a better but not best point of view, right? So I have got a really busy week this week. I am out. Normally I work from home in my wee spare room office, which is beautiful and I love it. But this week I'm out on Wednesday. I'm going to a speaker training in Glasgow. So I'm going to be probably out most of the day. I've got client calls on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, I've got a panel event through in Falkirk, Larbert, which is maybe about an hour and 10 minutes away from me. And I'm actually meant to be in Bolton at the same time. So I'm driving from Larbert to Bolton on Thursday. So I'll be there all day and overnight. And then I'll be there all day Friday and I won't get back home until late on Friday night. Now, that is a lot for me. So it means that Monday, Tuesday is super, super mental busy. And I was like, this morning or like yesterday morning, I was like, right, okay, how do I make this work better for me this week? Because I can look at my calendar, I can stare at this calendar for the next 20 minutes and get myself in a panic that I'm not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z, and this is going to fuck up. And then, we start spiraling. If I don't do that, then that'll happen. And we can start visualizing all the knock-on effects of everything. And it puts us in a state of anxiety now, bit of a different strain of the brain thread here. One of the big things that you see in Facebook and social media, Instagram, from perimenopause experts, all talk about perimenopause anxiety, right? And they talk about this anxiety as being one of the major symptoms. Now, most people listening to this there'll be kind of some similarities with me and my clients with you guys. You might not recognize anxiety as being part of your life, right? So whenever I used to see this anxiety, I'm like, I hope I don't get that anxiety. God, that sounds horrific. Like I've never experienced depression. I've never experienced anxiety. Like I've been panicked and worried and things like that, but I don't identify with the word anxiety. It gives me a vision of somebody that's really edgy and can't settle and fidgety and just hyper, not hyper and as I like child on blue Smarties, but just somebody that never feels settled. And I don't identify with that at all. However, when it was explained in a different way to me, I was like, oh my God, that's me. I'm total high anxiety. And part of that is well, if I don't do this, then that doesn't happen, and then that doesn't happen, and then that doesn't. And you can see the steps that if one thing doesn't happen, the dominoes all tumble. And it's the same as, I talk about this a lot when you're out a walk or something and you're like, oh my God, there's a murderer behind that tree, or you think that the bus coming towards you is going to crash into you. That is a form of anxiety and it's very common in perimenopause. So if you do have that, don't worry. And you don't have to identify with the word anxiety if you don't want to. Anyway, back on track about this feeling of if I don't get all this stuff done, I'm going to be behind, and so-and-so's, that's not going to happen for her. Then she's not going to get that PDF. They're not going to get that. Oh my God, when am I going to do this mindset work with my client group? Oh my God, I need that, blah, blah, blah. So I approached this from a place of better, not best yesterday. And I'm going to take you through the steps. Well, not the steps. I'm going to take you through what that means for me, and why well, I'll give you the idea of what the perfect approach would be for me, the all-in type approach. So, in the morning, I have a cup of tea, my breakfast smoothie, and I do my gratitude journaling. So yesterday morning, instead of getting my gratitude journal out and spending time on it, I normally spend a good, a 5-minute reflection, just thinking and looking and listening and seeing what feels good. I actually just grabbed the notebook and scrolled. It genuinely looks like a 3-year-old has written on the journal from yesterday. But I was like, right, let's go with gut. What am I grateful for right now? And one of the things was I'm really grateful for the opportunity to spend time with different people this week, right? So although it's a stressor, it's actually a really good opportunity, and it's a nice thing for me to do. Because when you work solo, you kind of forget what it's like to hang out with people, and then you start getting the fear that you're going to be weird. So chances are I'm going to be weird, but that's okay. So I did my gratitude journal, not perfectly, not in a way that is how I would like to do it, but I did it, right? So that was one example. The second one is I did my skincare. I made sure my SPF was on because the sun is splitting the sky today. No makeup, even though I knew that I've got a lot of things on video, so my roots are terrible and I've got no makeup on. But at that time in the morning, I just didn't have time to go and get my tinted serum, which I'm using just now from L'Oreal. It's actually really nice. I'm not normally a L'Oreal girl, but I saw this True Match tinted serum. It's really nice. Anyway, I digress. So no makeup on, but I just went, fuck it. Like, nobody's here to fancy me, so it doesn't really matter. Every Monday, I do a live in my client group. So I did that on the dog walk rather than waiting until I got home to sit at my desk and do it formally. I just did it out with the hound because I have to take the dog out for a walk. I did a Facebook post, wrote a Facebook post while I was on the walk. I like to normally sit down when it comes to my social media stuff and actually like plan it and think of nice hooks and da-da-da-da-da. Well, it's just like, no, actually, do you know what? Sometimes imperfect action is what needs to happen, and that was what was on the agenda today. So did that post, and when I got back, when I did eventually get to my desk, I repurposed it for an email that's going to go out at another time. So that was 2 for the price of 1, essentially. I went to the gym and I did 30 minutes in the gym. Now, normally I'd be in the gym for about an hour. And I was like, right, no, just a hard no. We're going to do the same workout that I would normally do, but instead of doing 4 sets of everything, I'm only going to do 2. So I did half of what I would normally do. 50% is still better than 0%. So I was like, I know if I don't get to the gym today, potentially tomorrow, that's still a question mark. Sorry, yesterday and today, then it's something is done. Something is better than nothing. So if that applies to you, like maybe you don't go to the gym, you can do 30 squats while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. You can do 20 press-ups against a wall after you've brushed your teeth. Like you can do squats while you're waiting for your moisturizer to settle in before you put your SPF on. So there's loads of ways that you can add this type of thing into your day-to-day. When I came back from the gym, I was like, I am starving. So I had made my frittata yesterday on Sunday, and I had broccoli and mushroom. And I was like, oh crap, there's no protein in that. I was meant to cook up the chicken. I didn't cook up the chicken. I was like, how am I going to get my protein? So I just had a protein shake instead of going to cook some chicken because I don't have time, right? So these are all examples of things that you can do better, not best. Best would be having the chicken. Better is just, just having the protein shake and do it. So last night, like normally I put my phone away between 8 and 9. I'm trying to be closer to 8, but anyway, I was on Instagram creating reels because I'm going to be away for most of the week. I'm not going to have, if I'm driving so much, I'm not going to have time to be creating reels. So I was like, I need to get on this. So I spent 4 hours extra than I normally would in social media, which I don't like doing, but It's a needs must. It's a needs must. And instead of tracking calories this week, I'll be hand portioning my food. So I'll be using my visual guidance with my fist size amount of fruit and veg and my palm sized amount of protein, so that I know that I'm getting the right amount of fuel and getting the right amount of food, but it's not going to result in, me gorging on things that I shouldn't. And I can make sure that I'm prioritizing that instead of eating a shit ton of crisps in the car. So yeah, they are real life examples that most people can implement. So I would urge you to, moving away from this all or nothing mindset is probably one of the hardest things that you can do, because if you've been, working from a place of, being the one in control of the family stuff, of the one in the workplace that's, project management, it's really hard to kind of let go of that identity of, well, only I can do it as well as this. Like, nobody else is going to do it as well as I can. It's really hard. But it's the only way that you're going to get long-term results. Otherwise, you're always going to be on this flip-flop of all or nothing, or, yo-yo dieting. It's the fundamental thing, fundamental foundation. I was going to say the fundamental foundation, but that's a bit. But nailing it is the crux of everything. Nailing it is the crux of everything. Now, a lot of people, like, there's loads of other things that we need to do around that, and that's more individual level. So a lot of people have issues with, I can't just eat one bit of chocolate, I can't just eat one biscuit, I can't just do this, I just can't do this. And there's loads of strategies and tactics that we can use at an individual level. So if that is you, then join the Happy Body Project and we will sort you out with that. But if you can nail that, moving away from this perfectionism, this control freakery, moving away from all or nothing, and start implementing this concept of better, not best, progress, not perfection, little actions done consistently over a long period of time is what drives the big results, then you're sorted. But if you can, and most people can't do that because they've never been taught how. So yeah, that is the inspired podcast for today: how to do better, not best in real life. Okay. I'm not actually sure when this is coming out, so I'm not going to tell you of anything that's time sensitive, but I hope this has all found you well, and I hope you've taken something from it. Let me know in the DMs or in the comments. And please, please, please like, share, and comments. I have got a goal now that I want 10,000 downloads to this podcast, and we're at, I think it's 9.6 thousand, I can't remember. Get liking, get sharing, get commenting, do all the things. Do all the things. Thank you. I appreciate it. Love to you all. Have a great rest of your day. And just like that, we have spiced up another episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. Massive shout out and a huge thank you for hanging out with me today. I really hope you've been entertained. And remember, don't be shy, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, keep those heels high and standards higher. Remember, it's all about glowing, growing, and downright owning it. So catch you on the flip side, and don't forget to click the link in the show notes to get your freebie.